Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines. Today I thought I'd talk about what's a better choice, marry a Thai girl or marry a Filipina. As a disclaimer, I've never married either of them. I happen to know both of them before and been around them quite a bit enough to have an opinion and know a little bit about them. In fact, my brother actually married a Filipina, so I have that as comparison. I'll get into in a minute. But for the most part, they're both going to cost you some money. For the Filipina, the marriage ain't so much. It's typical of kind of a Catholic marriage. You can do it pretty cheaply, actually, in the Philippines. Initially, it's cheap. You basically you do have to. It's kind of strange. You got to go to classes, and together the couple has to go to some classes. I'm not sure the details, but it takes a bit, and you have to see a priest and get the blessings of a priest or something too. And then in the vows, you're expected to take care of the family. It's even in the wedding vows. Do you vow to take care of the mother and father, or the family? I believe it's the whole family, or the mother and father for sure. And you have to say I do to the entire family, to open your wallet, be as generous as you need to. So that's one thing. You'll have to buy basically the actual marriage. You'll be just buying a pig, and put on a big party and during the marriage ceremony, and all the camera shoots and all that. That's what they'll expect, and no more than that. You could get off pretty cheap marrying a Filipina. I mean, and but yeah, you'll be expected from then on. You are part of the family, although you'll never be quite part of the family. You're gonna be paying for the brunt of all the bills that come up, like when the brother needs something for college, some, helpers with his tuition or something. You're going to be the first one they're going to go to. And every celebration you're going to be the first one they're going to go to. And the Filipinos celebrate every holiday the Americans do, and plus they got about 20 more that they celebrate. They have whole block parties, barangay parties. They'll have those, and you're going to be there. If you're the foreigner there, man, you're going to be buying the pig. And they celebrate kids' birthdays. A 2-year-old, they'll roast 2 pigs and have a grand feed for the whole neighborhood, and that's expected. You'll be the one footing the bill for that, trust me. And yeah, and then the parents too. You're expected to take care of the parents throughout their old age and into when they die too. So that's going to be on you when them big hospital bills come up, because there's no Social Security for them. There's no Medicaid for them. They're dependent on their children. So you're going to be there, and when grandma needs a surgery, what are you going to say? Although one good thing, that the health care there is very affordable. So but it can cost you a bunch of money, of course. When you get into the hospital there and they're having to do a bunch of tests and stuff, can cost you an arm and a leg, especially in Manila. Some of the bigger hospitals there are pretty expensive by Philippine standards. By your standards too, if you're on a Social Security budget, it'll quickly put you in the poorhouse. So yeah, and anything that big expense that comes up, if the house needs some work or something, they're going to come to you hoping for you to help out with that, or monetary wise, So you're going to be the family ATM basically when anything comes up. The birthdays, like I said, the girls when they turn 18, they have a big celebration. They spend a lot of money and have roast pigs. That's the most common thing. A pig is fairly cheap there. You can buy a roast cooked lechon pig, medium size, for 5,000 baht or 5,000 pesos. I got so many currencies in my head these days. I go back and forth. But yeah, 5,000 pesos is $100 about, roughly, somewhere. I don't know. It's probably even less than that now. I don't know. I haven't been following the peso lately. But yeah, you're going to be expected to buy the pig. And the women around the neighborhood, they'll bring a dish of all their fixings and stuff. But the main expense will be the pig, and you'll be paying for it. And the alcohol and the pop, they'll want to have the whole works for every kids and everybody. They'll go through cases of Coke. So you're going to be expected for all of that most occasions. unless you luckily marry into a family that's upper class, which is pretty low odds of that, you know, especially if you're an older guy retiring there and you're looking for a girl in 40s or 50, 40s or 30s or whatever. You're going to be the breadwinner for the family. When any emergency comes up, it'll be up to you, and you'll be expected to pitch in, usually bankroll it if because most of the family just can't, you know, they can't help. And then that extends out to the cousins and everything. They'll show up to your house, and the cousin with their hat in the hand, they need a motorbike broke down or something, they need a loan for this or that, they're going to come to you or to your woman, you know, and they know your Filipina's got a Kano boyfriend. They're going to come for her and try to sweet talk money out of her to ask her to ask you, you know. And you're going to have to fund some of them losing situations. It's not a loan. You're never going to get your money back. But them are just the hidden cost of marrying a Filipina. And they all can be, and she can become quite jealous. And that's the same with the Thai too. I'm going to put that right up there. They can be very jealous too. In the Philippines, I've seen it. My brother's wife, when she divorced her, came to America through a Filipino marriage, married to a Filipino guy in Alaska, and she divorced him, which is unheard of. Another thing in the Philippines, you can't divorce your wife legally in the Philippines. You can go to the U.S. and divorce her, but you can't, and you'll get it annulled in the U.S., but you really can't get it divorced. And she can actually put you in jail if you cheat on her, even if you've been separated. They can do some dirty tricks to make you, since it's a law there that you can't divorce. No divorce. But anyway, my brother's wife divorced her husband in the U.S. as her Filipino husband, married my brother, which was a much younger guy at the time than her. She had a lot of money she accrued from the divorce, probably, and her mom was rich, so she had a lot of money. But anyway, she was very jealous. When he wanted to divorce her, she showed up at the car window with a 357 pointed right at him. He was telling me. So, yeah. And I have Filipino. I've heard of through a friend that another Filipina caught a guy, foreigner guy in Dumaguete. She was jealous. She caught him with another girl, and he was fearing for his life. He said he didn't know what to do. She was going to kill him. She said she was coming with a knife or something. So yeah, the jealousy can be crazy. So you got to watch out for that. And now, as a Thai woman, to marry a Thai, that's a whole different ballgame. You got to pay a dowry if it's most of you ain't gonna have to pay this, but if you're a Thai couple getting married, a young Thai couple, you're expected to pay a dowry to the woman, and if she's of stature where they have money, the dowry is a sinsad, they call it, and it equates to thousands of dollars, and they'll have pile of gold. I forget how much gold, but like 10,000 in gold, depending on how much they can afford and stuff. And silver, and just there's a few other items that value. They'll pile it all up as a sinsad. That goes to the bride's parents, and in most cases, it's given back to the couple in the day after the wedding. They generally give it back. It's just kind of a show of wealth to the. But sometimes it's needed and kept, I hear. So, but if you're a foreigner marrying a Thai girl, expect they probably will keep it. And I don't know, but it can be a lot of money. And that's for a girl that was a virgin and young and beautiful with no kids. Once they have kids or something, that dowry bets are all off to a Thai couple. A Thai man won't pay a dowry, a sinsad on a Thai woman that's has kids or something, like, or been married, divorced or something. I don't know if they have divorce in Thailand or how that works, but once they have kids, the value, and they want them as a virgin too, they say, to pay the sinsad. I don't know if that's strict or not, but them are some things to consider. And I'm guessing if you're a foreigner and you put up the sinsad, they're probably going to take advantage of you, maybe not thinking you won't know, and you'll have heard about the sinsad, and they'll want you to pay it. If you're a older guy marrying a 40 or 50-year-old lady, you might, if her parents are still alive, they might try to get it. And I'm sure there's instances of where you pay the sin side, where some fools have done it and paid it and then got divorced. The woman kicked them out the next month. Same here. You have no, as a foreigner, you don't have any property rights, and that's the same in the Philippines. You have no property rights. The woman you can build her the most beautiful house in the world, and she'll tell you she loves you, but anytime she wants to kick you out, she can, and take everything. She owns 51% of everything. And that's the same. I don't know how it works in Thailand, but in Thailand, the same thing. You can't own property, and I'm sure she could kick you out anytime since she owns the property. She's tired of you, get rid of you, and the police will come and take you away, I bet. So, and that's the same in the Philippines. So that you're at a disadvantage for that, for sure. Either of them. So face it, they're both jealous. Thai women, I hear, are very jealous too. It's just same as the Filipinos. I can't actually substantiate that, but I can see it. I can kind of see it. So you got that. It's the same. And the sin side, if you're an older guy here coming and you're marrying, you're trying to marry a 40, 50-year-old girl, or late 30s or something, she's got a couple of kids or something, I don't think you're expected to pay sin side. Or if you did, you'd put it up for the wedding if you had a wedding. It's just more of a show thing amongst a lot of them to show value. It would be very noble of you to put up some money, maybe 100,000 baht. That's $3,000 or something. If you had a lot of money and you weren't worried about losing it, and if they asked and just do it as a sign of helping the family or something, that would be a very noble thing to do. If you have found a good woman to do it with, But if it's something you could afford to lose, but if it ain't, I don't think it's expected of you. If you find a young 25, 22-year-old girl that's never had a boyfriend and comes from a wealthy family, she ain't even gonna look at you as a husband. And if she does, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, probably. Even if you're a young American, a young guy her age even. So that's something to think about. And them sin sides can get pretty big. They'll have parties, I guess, that last for a while, for days. Their weddings last for days. Same in the Philippines, they can last quite a while too. In the barangay, they can have a celebration for quite a while. That you'll have to fund, of course. But they try to make it look, as rich as they possibly can with the sin side. They'll pile everything up, I guess, for everybody to see it and show it off. And hopefully the family generally gives it back. If it's a family that don't really need it, they'll give it back to the young couple to help them get a start on their new marriage and new life, and help them pay for their house and things that they're going to need. But if they're poor, I guess they keep it. If they figure the person can afford it, the groom can afford it, to lose it, to help the parents. But either way, you're going to end up helping the parents in the end too, because in Thailand you still have the same responsibility to take care of her parents. She's going to have to do it, or one of their kids are going to have to do it, or all of them are going to have to do it. So she's a woman. She's probably expected to be ones that are going to have to help her parents as they age into their later years, and you're going to have to take care of and pay and be responsible to pay for it anyway, to help anyway, if you can. If you have the money, you're going to have to. So that's the thing to consider with both. You're going to have to, if their parents are still alive in the Philippines or in Thailand, be prepared to be responsible. If they're not well-to-do, and have a family that's got some money, you're probably going to be expected to take care of them into their old age, and maybe even house them and be feeding them and stuff too. So if it can get to that. So usually that they'll have their own house and stuff, but just remember you're responsible for a lot of things. So those are just a few things to consider when you marry into a family in Asia. You are responsible for the elders in both countries, probably all the countries. They don't have the push them off into the old folks' home like we do in America and Canada and probably Europe. So here you're expected to take that responsibility on, and can be a very big financial responsibility as well. So just some things to think about if you're planning on getting married. Maybe just don't get married, who knows? But if you get in a Filipina, she definitely wants to be married. Even the young ones, they want to be married and they'll want to have kids. So that's one thing to do too. You better be prepared to have kids with her, because she's going to expect that out of you. And if you don't, she could leave you. And that could be a bad thing for you too later in life. So we'll see you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.